Hey Clashers, we're starting into the birthday month of Clash of Clans with a new challenge. And as always, I will show you the easiest way on how to beat this exact challenge. And if you want to buy anything for the start of the month like the Gold Pass or any of the offers from the in-game shop, make sure to support your favorite content creator out there. And if you want to support me and the channel, it's code iTzu. I really appreciate every single one of you who are putting this code every single time, and because it's running out every 7 days. But let's talk about the challenge, because this one is not easy whatsoever. We're going to clear out the entire bottom side with a fireball, let the warden walk towards the right side, queen with the left side, king for the core, and everything will just reunite at this top side of this village. But don't worry, we will just go through all of this step by step. First thing you have to do, go with the air warden. For that, you have to tap the green button on the warden and select the right setting, which means that one with the small wing on the warden symbol right there. Select that and make sure that you're starting the attack with an earthquake between the Inferno Tower and the Spell Tower, and then use the Warden at the bottom side. As soon as the first Bitter Hut is gone, you're going to use the Warden ability to take down a huge part of the village already. Clear out the next couple of buildings, and to guarantee that your Warden is going to the right side, use an invisibility spell on the left Expo and Archer Tower. As soon as the invisibility spell is going to run out, you're going to deploy 2 skeleton spells with your queen and the goblins right next to them. Overall, 5 goblins to make sure that you're speeding up the queen a little bit. We have done the direction, which means we can start with our skeleton spell. Make sure that you're delaying the queen a little bit, because it takes some time to spawn the first skeletons, and you want to make sure that your queen is not taking damage early on. With those 5 goblins, you're making sure that there is enough damage, and the next thing is to prepare that core, which means the log launcher is supposed to deal damage and open up the compartments for your king. At this point now, you're trying to set up the overgrowth spell, because that thing is here to protect your queen and make sure that she's staying alive longer and well protected. For that, you have to make sure that you're deploying that spell on the middle Dark Elixir storage at the top side as soon as your queen is switching onto the 4th building, which means after the Dark Elixir storages from the bottom side, which is the army camp, okay? So first 2 elixir storages, Dark Elixir storages, are done. And then the queen is taking down the last one, and then switch to the army camp, and that's when you're going to deploy that overgrowth spell right in the middle of that Dark Elixir storage. At this point, you want to start with your king, send as many barbarians as possible then right after from the right side in with the warden together, because the rage aura will help them quite a bit. Use the king ability as soon as you're getting closer to the core. Use your queen ability as soon as you're having to face the defending queen. At this point, just add the druid on the far right side, add that royal champion as well, and you're good to go. But one more thing, use a giant to trigger the rage tower nice and early at the top side to make sure that you don't have to worry about that when you're reaching that area. The next thing at this point is just protect your royal champ. Use the rage and the freeze to support the royal champion, and whenever the queen is dropping low, use the invisibility spells. Typically, you should be fine with only one of them. And just spam everything else in at this point. This is just like trying to spam everything in to make sure that you're not having any time problems. But even with this, you see I have like 30 plus seconds left, which should be good to go to make sure that you have not any of those time issues. And that's pretty much it. This challenge was not easy whatsoever, and there are ways of how to approach this as well, with like taking down the core with the fireball and everything, but I feel like that's a bit more complicated with the timings of the invisibility spells, and this has worked every single time for me, has worked super consistently, and I hope it worked for you guys as well. Otherwise, make sure to follow the channel if you always want to stay up to date when it comes down to Clash of Clans and everything about it, and otherwise, I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next class video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.